Welcome to the Dimecast podcast. I'm Bethel Duran alongside Danny Hernandez. As always, I mean, the reason it's called Dimecast is because that's your brand. That's your thing.
Thank you.
Nice municipal hoodie.
Yeah, represent.
Look at municipal. It takes care of you and Mark Wahlberg working out at 4 a.m.
4 a.m, every morning. Yeah, clockwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't look at Instagram in the morning because I don't want to see Wahlberg telling me he's already done 15 things already.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
And then you get the matching hat and everything.
There you go. You got to coordinate.
You got to coordinate. Get that cool water. All right. So today's episode is real quick. And if you've been watching us, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. And the first few episodes, we're going to just have a little quick burst here, there, questions that I have. Because right now, if you're having a quarterback in your family and you're trying to figure out what am I going to do with him, right? Look, the day of Johnny or Juanito is going to go down the street and he's going to go play at Santa Ana High, or he's going to go to Santa Monica, or he's going to go to, Garfield High, and he's just going to walk there with his friends that he grew up with. That's done now. It's still available. Mm-hmm. It's still out there. Just we're completely talking realistic and honestly here. If you're watching this, you probably have a kid who is aspiring to be a collegiate athlete or a professional athlete. So this is for you, because now you can send Danny a message. Hey, Danny, I'm thinking about this high school, but how many texts do you have on your phone?
A good amount.
Over 1,000?
Over 1,000, yes.
Anxiety just thinking about that.
Sorry.
So he can't get back to him, but you get that question a lot. So today's episode is going to be, what should my high school experience be if I'm a quarterback? And I'm going to get going with this. And the reason I asked is, it used to be taboo of, ooh, he transferred high school. Now it's, hey, you went to 4 different high schools. It's just reality of it in California, in Texas, in Georgia. So right now, my son, my hypothetical son, is in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. What am I looking for in a high school, Danny?
I think you have to be able to sit down and figure out what's on your checklist. And everyone's checklist is going to be a little bit different. What do you want out of your experience? There might be somebody that says, hey, I want to play in the most packed games ever, right? So you're going to end up going to some of these bigger schools, that have that. Someone else might be the neighborhood stuff that you were talking about, that might really matter. Community, right? I want to be in this particular area because those are the kids that he grew up with. And I love that about it. Then there's others that, what is going to get me to that goal, of getting to college, so you got to start figuring out what school makes sense for you and what your skill set is. And the other big thing that I constantly end up telling parents about is try to find a school that gives you, and this is for a kid that has the potential to be a highly recruited kid. Try to put yourself in a spot that you have a 3-year path. And what I mean by
high school's 4 years.
High school's 4 years. But if you could find a spot that could put you at least in the mix to be able to start by your sophomore year, then it gives you, because that sophomore year is so important when it comes to recruitment.
Hold on. You want to start by your sophomore year. It used to be, I want to be a starter by junior year. Now it's updated 1 more year.
And the tricky part about it is, if you take a look at the way recruitment is done now, things are happening so much sooner. You have the earlier signing day. You have most of these guys are going into their senior year. They've already committed to the places that they're going to. Right. So those kids that have committed already, they have varsity film from their sophomore and their junior year. Those are important years, for them. Now, some kids will walk into a situation where maybe that 4-year path is. I've had kids that they start from their freshman year. You have that. But I think if you could put yourself in a position where you could at least be able to be in the mix by your sophomore year, I think that's a good start there.
Does JV football even exist anymore for your quarterbacks?
In some, there'll be, in the JV world, I think it's good for development. Like I get this question often from parents, like, hey, should he be looking to be, just a varsity backup? He's not going to play that much, but he's practicing with the varsity and everything the entire time. Or, is he better off just playing JV the entire time and he gets to play? And there's things that you could gain from that. The biggest thing that I think a kid could gain from that when they play JV as a sophomore, I think, is leadership, because now you're the guy and you have to be able to get the rest of that team and get you guys all on the same page.
But that's if you're at one of the bigger premier schools, right?
One of the bigger premier schools, correct.
Like you're not Division 5 kid. Like Division 5, you should be a starter.
You should be.
And again, if you're watching this is for the kids who are elite, who have Division 1 offers in 8th grade, or quote unquote offers, or they have the aspirations to go to a big time school. So, all right, Danny, I don't care about the neighborhood school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about playing with my friends. I want to go to the school that's going to be number 1 or number 2 in the country. Like, I want to go to the big premier private school,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm only 5'8". Should I go to a school like that?
No, because at the end of the day, what are you trying to get out of that experience? Are you thinking, oh, I go to this big school, I'm
Well, I get the entire Nike or Under Armour bag.
Uh-huh.
I get a trip to maybe Hawaii or Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I get to say I'm on team number 1 in the country, and I'll probably get a ring.
That's awesome. And again, if that's on your checklist on the things that you want, that's fine.
But I won't play.
But you won't play. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, that's probably going to be your ceiling, where you'll be able to go. And is that truly what you want to get out of your experience?
But I'm not going to get recruited like that.
You're not going to get recruited,
Okay.
and not only from a recruitment standpoint, I just think overall experience, it's like Coach Todd Monken, who's now he's the offensive coordinator over with the Ravens. Good friend of mine. He was offensive coordinator for Georgia for some years. And he would always talk to the kids saying that he went to Knox College. Okay. And he would always say, hey man, at the end of the game, the fight song sounds the same if I'm at Knox College or if I'm at University of Georgia, right? Having that experience of being able to play, was the best thing for me. So again, it's telling guys like, hey, this might fit for that kid, but this might fit a little bit better for you, so that you have that experience and you enjoy your time, those 4 years.
All right. So my kid's an incoming 9th grader. What kind of school am I looking for him? What do I want?
The things that you want is, I think, one, you got to have that self-awareness on knowing what your style of play is. So I think once you know what that style of play is, does the offense of that school that you're going to, does it fit your style? If you say, hey man, I want my kid to pass 30 times a game and he's got a big arm and we're expecting this and that from him, but you end up going to a school that runs wing T, is that the best decision for you? Okay. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to get recruited, you need film, and if your film is just you handing the ball off all game, coach is not going to be able to recruit you from that. Now, again, that school may have a great culture. It might be a great program. It might be a great school and check every other box, but understand that big box, if you want to get to the next level, you're going to be limited there.
Look, we're not naive now, but in this day and age, there's people who are going to these 7-on-7 tournaments or these Pop Warner games, or they're telling like, hey, come to this school because you're a good quarterback, right? Like, you're wanted.
Yes.
Like, people know who you are now.
Oh, yes.
Right? Is there something where I go my 9th grade year and I probably transfer to another school? It happens a lot now.
It happens.
So why would a kid leave it after 9th grade?
It happens a lot. And what ends up happening sometimes is everybody, again, whatever's on their checklist, I'm trying to figure out what their path is. You might get a parent that says, rather than having little Johnny play freshman or JV ball at this bigger school, I'm going to take him to this other school, let him play varsity as a freshman. He's going to, get film. He's going to have all these great opportunities. And then what ends up happening most of the time, not putting any names out there on these schools, they find you and they figure a way to get someone in contact with you. And then now you're wanted at that.
And that's all over the country.
All over the country.
From Maine to Oregon, it happens everywhere. Yeah. So is it better for me to have my kid play varsity as a freshman, say Division 7, 8, instead of being a JV kid at a bigger school and not play much?
Again,
I'm only for 9th grade.
Yeah, only for 9th. And that's tough, because what I don't want to come across here as the guy that's telling you to bounce from place to place to place.
No, of course not.
Right. We're hoping
that's up to the parents.
That's up to the parents. We're hoping that we could find a place that makes sense, and it checks all the boxes for us and it fits. Right. Hey, I love the community. I love the coaching staff. I feel like I'm being developed. I also have an opportunity for film. I have all those kind of things. It's checking all those boxes. Sometimes what ends up happening is sometimes these kids go to a particular place and it's great for that first year. And then maybe, there's not a lot of weapons over there. So now you built all this momentum for that first year. And now you go back and the cupboard's bare, it was maybe a senior team and you were that freshman on that senior team. Now it's like, ooh, do you want to ride that wave, of those bumps, and some kids decide to do it, but some may say, yeah, I don't know, this is a little bit tough for my journey. I'm gonna move on to this other spot.
Like, I remember my son was trying to decide where he wanted to go to high school, because he was going to go to private school.
Mm-hmm.
And the school I liked, he didn't like
mm-hmm.
as much.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gave me a case where he went. And I'm like, okay, why? He's like, because I have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be here every single day
Yeah,
with these kids. You might see it this way, but I see it.
it's a great
I
point.
got to live it.
Yeah. That's very mature for him at that age, to be able to see that, because not everybody can see it. Sometimes you're just looking at, football and just looking at what's in the stands and everything like that. Like, hey, what happens when football season ends?
Yeah, you're in November. You're eliminated first round. Like you
Yeah.
got to be there.
Is that where you want to be? You gotta ask that.
Do college coaches really look at your film from ninth grade?
They do, and they're going to look at film from the ninth grade. And I'll be honest with you, when it's varsity film, okay, if they have varsity film, the coaches are going to take a look at that. And right after the season ends, that's when coaches are going to end up now being on the road. December, January, they'll be on the road. So you're just fresh off that season ending. And if you're a kid that had that varsity film, guess what? Coaches, and if it's good, and you're checking enough boxes for that particular college, they're probably going to end up visiting you.
But Danny, what about my kid's team? They went 3-7. Are coaches going to be concerned that he wasn't good?
No, it all depends on what you were working with. I mean, you might see some kids sometimes at a particular school, and maybe they didn't win a ton of games, but maybe there's several reasons for that happening. Maybe there weren't a lot of weapons there, or you're in a really, really tough league. So it's not all going to fall on that quarterback. Now, what coaches do want to see is they want to see progress. Maybe you were 3-7 that first year, and then we improve that record. We also improve our touchdown INT ratio. I want to see progress going from ninth grade to 10th grade to 11th grade.
Doesn't it also help that you're playing against kids 3 years older than you? Like,
Yeah, it does.
they see film from that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're playing with guys that they're also recruiting, probably, so you get a chance to see them, throwing the ball to other high profile guys. You're evading tackles from other high profile guys, when popping on that freshman film. I'm sorry, I'm probably not going to really look at that all that much.
It's fascinating how the development of a young player used to be
Yeah.
just wait until your senior year. You're telling me if I wait till my senior year,
Probably going to be too late, to be honest with you. And there's kids, that are really good, and they may end up trying to play the long game and end up waiting. Hey, I'm going to be developed. I'm going to wait till my senior year, and that's fine. Again, maybe there's things within that program and that school that ended up checking enough boxes for them for that to make sense. But you got to understand that if you're in a position that you're not starting till your senior year, your choices are going to be extremely limited at that point, because everything just happens so much sooner. And then if we go into a whole other thing just on how things have changed now because of the way the portal works. So now if I'm
we will have a portal
yeah,
podcast episode.
there'll be a whole,
There's so many episodes coming through, man. There's so much knowledge coming in, but we're building it just like a quarterback. You build it from the beginning.
Yeah, build it from the beginning. But just to touch on that a little bit here is, the future, I think, is really going to end up looking like, for these high profile programs, if a player is not in that position where he's like in that 4 or 5-star range, it's going to be very difficult for them to have that opportunity for the Georgias and the Alabamas and these other big programs. Because why do I take a chance on that kid that's, kind of a late bloomer and developing later? I could just grab a kid out of the portal, and that's what's going on. These are the real conversations that I'm having with these coaches right now. And that's tough. So, it's not about being the best freshman in the country or anything like that, but we want to have those opportunities probably sooner rather than later, to be honest with you.
So if a college coach sees that you've gone to 3 different high schools, in the past used to be like, oh man, he's got issues. Now,
Not so much. I mean, take a look at college. I mean, you're seeing it happen in college now. So it's just kind of part of the game. There's been some coaches that have came out and said, oh, I don't want a kid if he's been at X amount of schools and everything like that. And you don't want to bounce around too much.
but if the kid's leveling up from like a Division 5, and every year he gets to a
and
different,
every year there's a story, like you could kind of understand, you could kind of see, okay, this kid went from here. I could understand why he went here,
Okay.
and again, it's a story, right? And I understand the story and why that ended up happening. But if it's like bounce, 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 and it's not really making sense, you're
so
kind of
don't
thinking,
bounce around in the same league.
yeah, bouncing around the same league, and you're kind of making these lateral moves left and right. It kind of, okay, something's up. There's something going on. There's maybe a red flag here.
See, learning something new.
Try.
Learning something new. At the end of the day, though, find the school that you like.
Find the school you like, find the school that fits, find the school, again, like your son ended up bringing up, I have to stay here. I have to be here. Do I enjoy this community? Does this school, what does it mean to me? I think those things matter.
All right, Knox College. Do you know their nickname?
I do not. What are they?
Prairie Fire.
Wow.
So your boy,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ride him on that.
Knox College, a Division III in the Midwest Conference. It's in Galesburg, Illinois.
Okay.
The Prairie Fire is the nickname. The mascot, named Blaze.
Prairie Fire. All right, let's go.
All right, notable alumni. What is the name of your buddy?
Todd Monken.
Todd Monken. Is he going to be on the notable alumni?
Better be, man. That's dirty if they left.
Todd Monken.
He's got national championships at Georgia. Now he's the Ravens offensive coordinator.
Todd Monken.
He's
Monken. 1989.
Let's go, Monk.
Coached multiple teams. Was the head coach at Southern Miss.
Yep.
Also coordinator for the University of Georgia. Currently the offensive coordinator of the NFL Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, sir.
Also, Andrew Monson, 1997, novelist and poet of Other Electricities and Vacation Land. Here it is. You young kids aren't going to know. Gene Rayburn. He was a host of Match Game and the announcer for The Tonight Show. Look him up in the 1970s. Gene Rayburn. There it is.
Wow.
There it is. All right, so Knox College. Oh, we got to get a Knox College shirt up here.
I need to get a hoodie or something.
As we progress on the Dimecast, right now we just got a basic feel behind us. Soon, we're going to get Knox College gear everywhere. We're going to get random D3 schools, alumni, all that good stuff. No high schools up there, though, because we're going to change them every year, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Danny Hernandez, Beth Duran, thanks for watching the Dimecast.